and welcome. We're here back for Sunday racing for today at the races. Keith, we're
Hmm.
back. We had quite a day yesterday. Long day, but good day yesterday.
Yeah, long day, no doubt about it. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
Those Breeders' Cup days, but all in all, strong handle here
Hmm.
at Laurel Park. We like that, and you know everybody that came out, a good live crowd to enhance that handle. I think it was like 4.5,
Hmm.
4.6 million. So we like that. The races were good here. The races were good out in California.
Yep.
White Barrio getting it done in the Classic for Dutro. So
Hmm.
there you go. I mean, it was all in all a solid day. I mean, our picks yesterday here, we were man, we danced around some major payouts.
Yep.
Hope you used a little bit of that 30 to 1 early with Georgie Hernandez. Just got beat two necks. Not Callie Francois, okay, Brittany Russell, right?
Yeah.
$19 winner, and then a brutal beat in the last with Salzman. A final lunge to just miss the bob at 13 to 1. So we were seeing the ball. I think that's what it's about. It's about the gambling. I mean, it was my churn yesterday was big. How was yours? Were you hitting the windows a lot or no or what?
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing
Nothing.
crazy.
Yeah, nothing
Okay.
crazy. Especially on days like that. I'm not as much of a risk taker.
Okay.
So I just love, but I love getting. For me, it's the result. It's the pride and just
Hmm.
being able to kind of tap into what a horse and how a horse is going to peak and what time.
Okay.
So got a couple of good winners there that day, and that's what this
Okay.
game is about.
I like it when it lines the pockets. You know, you,
Hmm.
you gotta pay the bills. You got tuitions to pay. Somebody might have a car payment due. This is why we play the game, guys like me. We want we want to keep on rolling. So I love it. It's a great challenge. The highs and lows are unlike anything else out there. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, but you got to kind of get up off the mat after some bad days and keep on kicking. So there you go.
Track is fast. Turf is
Hmm.
firm here for Sunday racing. Of course, I'm probably going to take this jacket off because we're going to warm right up here
Well.
pretty soon, but it's going to cool down in these last couple of races. Keith, let's kick things off
Hmm.
in this early pick five in this claiming 16,000, which have never won three, going 5.5 on the turf for the four, scratch in the 4, 9, and
Hmm.
12. You have the number 7 on top. In general news,
Yeah.
this is in the barn of Damon Deal DeVico, J. Ron Barbosa.
Yeah, you got this one in the mix. I want to hear your angle on this one. It popped up on the selections. I'm thinking nobody's going to have this horse, but you got it. So I want to hear what you got on general news.
Here's the thing, Damon Deal DeVico, while he's not too strong in his first time turf, I love looking at the breeding, and we do have Army Mule, who is at 16% with his first time
Uh-huh.
starters as of lately. And on top of that, when he does team up with J. Ron Barbosa, 3 for 8 on the turf with jockey trainer combo. Taking a look at the style, we have a front runner,
Hmm.
a seemingly front runner, but I think with this outside post, you take a look. Two different angles here, Keith.
Okay.
You take a look at this type of front runner, and you say, hey, showed a little propensity to show a little bit of hold in the beginning of the race. That makes me think that this one might be able to show some much needed tactical
Hmm.
ability for the first time on the turf, because you have the first time on the turf, going to need to have a little bit of tools in the tool belt.
Yeah.
On top of that, we have the second wire. So that 7 furlong transfer to me on the dirt transfers
Hmm.
very well to that 5.5 on the turf.
Yeah. We're just going to hope that he handles the grass. That's the biggest thing. Like you touched upon Army Mule, they're 22% turf sprints. Bottom side, this mare was a 7-time winner, ran some good figs, some big races, kin to a sibling, the only sibling that tried to turf out of this family, ran well, 83 in a two other than out in California. So is it an all or nothing shot? Probably. Okay, but at that kind of price, we'll take the shot. I like the way this horse returned, was sharp in return, was dead game after battling through very brisk fractions on the dirt. So I thought this race was kind of wide open because you're going to have a horse that's going to maybe take a lot more play than maybe he should. He might win it. Where is Mike? The 8. We'll touch upon that one. Your top selection. Where is Mike? Only tried to turf once. It was down in the summertime at Colonial. A little issue here around the 3/16. So our chart callers down there picked up a little steady. And this was a 2 other than. You're talking a 2 other than with Momos. I believe that's a Mike Trombetta horse. But encountering that little bit of trouble into the lane, a slight steady, and then picking it up through the final eighth of a mile. Closed a couple lengths too as well. So finished up well. The drop, that's the biggest concern. Can you really rely on this one? It's kind of suspicious to me, but maybe they just want to kind of win and see you later.
See you later,
Yeah.
alligator. Keith Fusel goes 7-5-10-8 there in this race on this turf affair on the Laurel lawn, opening up that
Yeah.
early pick 5. Keith, let's go to your early pick 4.
All right.
That does start in race number 2.
All right, race number 2. Yeah, this is it's a big ticket, $36. Yeah, can you really feel comfortable? I don't know. You may have to dig a little bit more. 235 Ninja Abario. Thunder Buggy was off the ticket, now back on because of the scratches of the speed, the main speed threat. So we go 235 in there. Race 3, 3-5, 6-10. Roses tomorrow. I think it's going to be tough. We got a video of that one. Bolt of Paradise might be interesting towards the front end. A little bump up for Damasi. Race 4, 1A Burks. 5 It's Viper. I think if you can throw in the Treasure Trove, it's a real short field. Treasure Trove belongs. Ran very game behind Burks last time out. Wrap it up with the 2, 3, and 7. Another highly competitive turf sprint there. That's the starter. Optional. I think that's a real good race in race 5. So lots of ways to go. 36 to get you started.
There we go, $36 as a kickoff point to this 8-race card that we have here on Sunday. And race number 2 is a claiming 5,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. For the girls, 3 and up, scratch the 1 Calypso Go, scratch the 8 Salsa Rita. You take a chance on the number 2 Ninja Abario, now on the rail for Faith Wilson, gets Carlos Lopez.
Yeah, we'll see. I tell you what, confidence just up. It should be 21-1 upset last time, but was into the race every step of the way under some urging. Was about 2 out of it into the turn behind 3 horses that were kind of going at it. Shifted out and really circled and sustained a nice run. I thought this was good. Has been able to handle this type of distance as 7/8 works. With a scratch of the 1, Calypso Ghost. Salsa Rita out. I think she's going to be forward. She chased a pretty brisk pace last time out and was there fairly comfortably. Thunder Buggy unbeaten at the 7/8. Gets back onto the ticket for that stat reason and the scratch of the speeds. Unicorn Sally, beautiful star. Jerry Brooks has got a couple horses in here. Both deserve a sharp look. I lean a little bit here with Barbosa. Unicorn Sally, I think, goes second off the claim. Back numbers work. The ability to sustain at longer distances kind of and enhance the chances there. So 2, 3, 5, 6 in race 2. Tricky little race, though. We'll take a shot with the Deuce, Ninja Abario, White Abario yesterday. There's your own play. Okay.
There's the connect. There's the invisible string there here over in Maryland racing. Race number 3 kicks off. The Rainbow Pick 6, and just taking a look, my ticket's very boring. I go with a $19.20 ticket, 2 deep here in races 3 and 4, but race number 5 is where I kind of ticket a little bit wide. I have a nice 20-1 within my picks in Taubert, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Race number 6, I go 3 deep with the 2, 7, and 8. I go with Geothermal in that claiming 10,000 there. In race number 7, you got to go on the 2 Brittany Russell horses. The Addison Port looking for a bit of a more easy trip this time and a better distance perhaps, and then you have to include Wish Me Home with Angel Cruz Russell with how they've been teaming up together. And in race number 8, I single in on the number 5 Uncaptured Storm for Anthony Ferrier, Javion Toledo there in that finale, a $19.20 ticket. But let's kick back to what gets that going in this maiden claiming 30,000, a mile and 16th on the turf. For the 3, 4, and 5-year-old girls, scratch the 9 Graceful Union, scratch the 11 2-Minute Lick. Keith, you have the number 3 on top, Bolt of Paradise for Kathleen Damasi and Victor Carrasco.
Yeah, a race I think is another little bit of a scramble, but this horse kind of, I looked a little deeper, a little freshening off a good try for 16 at Monmouth. Usually I'm not going to kind of jump up and down on a horse like this, but got to the front after a trouble trip 2 races back, held pretty well through very good internals. I went back and looked. Those internals were much stronger than other than fillies and mares that particular afternoon. You look at the race and kind of envisioning of the way it's going to set up. Not a slew of speed signed on. Bolt of Paradise with the improvement and a jump up, a little confidence jump here for the barn. I'll take a shot that this one can go a long way.
You also go with the number 6 in Rosie's Tomorrow for Michael Maker, gets Horacio Caramano.
Yeah.
So let's take a look back at that last effort back here on the Laurel lawn.
Yeah, this was an adventure if I remember that particular day. Now this was an amateur riders race, so kind of anything kind of goes sometimes. A little right hand turn out of the gate. Horse outside takes a little bit of a bump and then drops in, tries to settle back off the pace. Figured that horse might be even a little bit more forward that particular afternoon. But then it's down inside, a little jackpot, a little steady, a little check. I'm sure the pressure's there too. You got these riders; they're all capable, but getting there here on this bigger stage, sometimes even horse and rider, they might sense it. And this horse checks again there at the 3/8 pole. Is going to make another run up inside. Tries hard, makes a final lunge. This was a crazy finish. Stage call just to get up. Only gets beat a half length when it's all said and done. Watch this here through the final eighth of a mile. Has to work off the rail. Horses all in front of him. Drops down. She makes a good surge here. Just can't quite get up. Stage call. Little cleaner run there from the outside. Rosie's tomorrow, good for 40. 2 races back at Saratoga. Certainly fits here with a clean trip.
You also go with Compass Rises with Chucky Lawrence and Jamie Rodriguez coming down from those maiden special weight efforts.
Yeah, called Chicken Parm. Kind of an even effort. Again, maiden special weight, the maiden claiming always a good move. And the 10. Inside, block with run. The blinkers came off. This horse settled a little further back. Was relaxed. Had plenty of run. He just tried to take the short way home. I like the thought. It just didn't pan out that day with all that traffic in the stretch. Draws clear on the outside, can settle. Might take the overland route today. We'll see. I mean, I want to see those riders save ground. You saw it work yesterday in a couple of turf races, in the Breeders' Cup. Sometimes that hole just closes up, and this horse just encountered a ton of trouble from the final 3/16 last time out.
As Keith Houston goes 3-6, 5-10 in race number 3. Race number 4 is an 8.5 mile and 16th dirt affair in this allowance optional claiming 40,000 for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in a coupled entry of the 1 Uncle Irish and the number 4 Mose Perfect. You go with the number 1A as well as I do. Coming out of the 6th post in Burks for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, right back it looks like. Was able to slow it down, took a little pressure, repelled. He's showing this ability going a route of ground. Burks again. Picture this, might be a threat inside, but if this one clears and relaxes, it's going to be his race to lose on the front end. He's run some big races over this Laurel main track.
One that will be coming off of the pace will be its Viper. Let's take a look in that last effort, doing just that for Brittany Russell. Javian Toledo now takes the call, but Sheldon was on that day.
Yeah, Sheldon was on, and the start caught a really bad beginning. Bumped around at the break, then has to check. Got a little discombobulated there. Finds itself 7-8 lengths back. This horse doesn't have a ton of true speed as it is, but he's got a little bit of heart. He's going to circle here about 3 wide in the lane, find some room, and really closes up nicely. Only gets beat, ahead when it's all said and done. Irish exit, feeling woozy in there. It's just the flow again. If this 3 can't go out and really pressure, can he do it on his own from the back of the pack? We'll see. He's going to need to get a clean trip if he's going to get it done. He's got some heart there. Look at this run up in between. Just not quite good enough. Yep.
Here's hoping.
Okay.
You also go with Treasure Trove and Luigi Spirit, as I do underneath, as you go 1-8, 5-6-2 in race number 4. And we will be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Sunday's race card.
Thoroughbred Racing is taking vital steps to make our sports safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
And welcome back in race number 5 in this 5.5 turf affair on the Laurel lawn. For the 3-year-olds and up in this starter optional 30,000. Scratch in the number 5, Alexis X. You and I both go with the judge and the jury for Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez. Let's take a look back at that effort in Delaware on September 6th.
Yeah, always intrigues me, and I like this move when a barn that claims a lot, they lose a horse. Sometimes they're like, I don't want somebody else to do better, whatever. So they go ahead and reclaim. But Ness has had success with this move. Let one maybe get away. Got it back. This guy ran really well last time out with some trouble right here. Had to wait. Actually showed speed, dropped back, waited, and made again that move inside. Got pushed into the gap, and the head-on really shows it. I mean, it's kind of scary, for those riders up there with that gap, because I tell you, to get straightened back away, it had to be a little bit dicey, but got it done. Made that move inside, just to miss with that horse flying. A lot of heart. He's up against Nichiran. We saw Nichiran come back and run really big. Was able to outrun a fast horse in Ziramed. Just couldn't quite hold on. That little first quarter might have just taken a little bit out of Nichiran. but this one's going to be a major factor up front. I think the one to catch with judge and jury showing that speed last time and then easing back. Looking at the way this field sets up, I think you just get a nice relaxed stalking trip. Go ahead, let the 4 go, then relax, try to attack, maybe say top of the stretch and see what we go from there. But closing, I like your 3 by the seashore. He's just like an ATM machine for Trombetta. Set up shop behind a duel last time, got it done. And be determined. It's one of my favorite horses. Suzanne Centenius, she does a great job year in and year out with a limited stable. This one, they've run against each other in the past. They both encountered some trouble and just were noses apart. Hard to separate. I do think the 3's got a little bit more tactical speed, but I like the fact that Be Determined is coming back and running second sprint in a row.
There we have it for Keith Fusel as he goes 2-3-7-4 in race number 5. Race number 6 starts our jackpot super high 5 and also is a claiming 10,000 for the 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won at 2. Going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt, scratch on the 4, Judy's Army. You take the you go with the number 5 at a price of 8 to 1 on the morning line. Irish Warlock for Daniel McKenzie gets Horacio Caramanos.
Yeah, here's your stat. McKenzie, past 2 years on the dirt, 3 for 7, 43%. 6 for 7 in the money, so you're like a smaller sample. He doesn't have a slew of horses yet. Second off the claim, that's this angle. ROI of 454. This horse goes turf to dirt. That's worked for the barn, but it's made some pretty good moves despite some trouble early on in its race. As you see, 3 back, in close at the start, made that 5 wide run, bumped it to 5/8, 2 back, and finished up. The road's going to go through freestanding. This horse goes first off the claim for Ricky Silliman out of the Russell barn. Sharp Speed out of that General News race. I think you got to catch that one. But any pressure, some help, Irish Warlock's going to be there to make a strong run, I think, quarter to the wire. Just has to kind of stay out of any kind of trouble early. But I think Caramanos are right, kind of just throttle the sucker down, boom, make that run.
And let's see if he's able to do that for race number 6. You also go with the 6 and the 7, Prince of Fire, and by his absence, let's go ahead and take a look back at both of their last efforts.
Yeah, both here for Woodett / Saray. Good tries. Out of the gate, you got a shuffle and a steady start for Prince Fire down inside. That was enough. That was some really big trouble there. Found itself 5 or 6 lengths out of it. Here we go. Boom. Checking again, going to the half-mile pole, but is able to regroup. By its absence, we talked about this horse last time, Callie. This one is kind of he makes a couple runs in his race. He's a little bit spotty, but he keeps on going. I think he's going to work again. Maybe gets the first chase of freestanding and makes the run into it. But I think Prince Fire, with any kind of cleaner run into that turn, can make a run into it as well. Both of these horses are live. 5, 6, 7, 3. Got geothermal. You like that one, right? I didn't know what to do with that one. I guess the confidence should be high off of that last race at Charlestown, but I thought there was lots of ways to go in the 6th.
Bit of a wide open affair as Keith Fusel goes 5, 6, 7, 3 in race number 6. Race number 7 is an allowance optional claiming 40,000. A mile and 16th on the turf scratch and the 4 Lucky Curlin scratch and the 6 April Fool's Andy. You go with the number 7 in Clear Vision. Michael Maker, Horacio Caramanos won off of Belmont at the Big 8 last time out and comes here down to Maryland.
Yeah, kind of an old pro, 7 for 29. Hadn't run a lot at 7 years old, but when he runs big. They went in, they liked this horse. You go back in May when this horse made a return, had to face Catnip, highest distinction. Catnip, I think, was second in a grade 1 a couple races later. Highest distinction, reeled off 4 straight wins, I think, and won the BWI turf. So really holding against the right kind. Enough speed to lay close because you're looking at the race. What are your thoughts here? If you're the rider of Wish Me Home and you've got Wicked Prankster, you've got 2 horses in here, you're Brittany. Do you try to entertain Wicked Prankster or do you let them kind of just go ahead and stalk with Wish Me Home? Wish Me Home ran well when adjusting to that flow last time out, I thought.
And he did. He really did kind of, as you mentioned, as he worded it, readjusted to things. Because normally I'm one to kind of say Wicked Prankster is the one to set the pace, but he's not one to finish. But now, coming off, you take a look at the Maryland Million turf when he won last time out. The next effort on the turf was also a good effort after that win from the Maryland Million turf in 2022. So we come back, and granted he was fresh coming back in May of 2023, so it's hard for, I'm not going to say it's hard for this one to put 2 together because he did it last year. So if I were him, I would I would sit off at first,
Okay.
and I would play it. It all depends on the break too, Keith. If you
Yep.
can get the jump on him in the break, and if that's what your instructions from Brittany were, go for it.
Okay.
But now that he's shown some tactical ability and what we're going a distance of a mile and a 16th, even better, you kind of want to play with that line a little bit. So I would, depending on how quick they come out of the gate, I would let Wicked Prankster go a little bit first.
Okay.
Because I do think he is catchable in this field.
Okay. Yeah, he surprised me on the front end last time in that Maryland Million, because I tell you what, Ortiz was just kind of motionless all the way to the
Yep.
head of the lane. He really nursed along nicely. Clipped off some pretty good internals as well and was dead firm
Right.
to the wire. So you've got this closer in the Addison Poor, the other Russell runner. We're going to show that rerun, right? And also out of a race with Eldest Son was in there. And this was a pretty quick flow as well this particular day. 23:46.4 picked it up, going a mile. So let's watch the Addison Poor
This one had
picking it up from the back of the pack. Got to turn a foot.
Yeah, you got to stop a flow a little bit too. So we'll get to that. You'll see it in just a second as it comes up. But I think he's going to get a bit of more of a clear path today, Keith.
Yeah, the jock decided, Sheldon decided to kind of stay inside in that 3-path inside the 7-horse. And, I thought maybe he might just shift out leaving the quarter. And then he had to work through some traffic. That pause, the traffic, man, he closes with a flourish here. Just a miss. That was enough.
Yep.
That was enough to get him beat, or he already gotten through. That he would have gotten through. That's two other conditions. So there you go. The Addison Poor. I think he can lay a little bit closer. You look at his page. He's deep. I've seen him adjust. So let's see. He's going to need a little bit of help though. But it'll be interesting, the tactics and the cat and mouse, as you might say, between this 5 and 8 through the first half mile to 3/4.
There we have it. 7-3-1-5 for Keith Husel there in the 7th. Race number 8 is a claiming 16,000, which have never won 3, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the number 1, Food Foodie. And you and I both go with Uncaptured Storm, Anthony Ferrier, Javion Toledo coming in from that Pimlico effort. I like the spacing in between races.
Yeah, and we talked about this barn, with its owner. They're not scared. They'll attack. 6-time winner, as is Coco Shell's a 4-time winner, working this condition beautifully. Yeah, the other Farrier scratches, moves in a little bit. Uncaptured Storm has enough speed, I think, to stay close to Cavalry Command, and if Elusive Agent wants to go. So I think that the perfect trip would be just to drop in right behind them and let them just carry them through the backstretch and get it done. So, yeah, off a little bit of freshening here, off the claim. Uncaptured Storm, a reclaim, I think, gets it done.
And you also go with Coco Shell for Claudia Gonzalez. Angel Cruz gets the call, returns back to the dirt, I think is a major key factor here.
Yeah, like I say, a 4-time winner. You look at the last 2 buyers on the dirt, 72-73, stacks right up there with your favorite Uncaptured Storm. So some of these others are going to have to improve. Another one, I think, can go ahead and get position in a stalking spot down through the backstretch. So, yeah, and maybe My Mamba, a little bit of a price to use underneath. Really had no chance after the beginning last time out.
5764 for Keith Fusel there, and that wraps up our chat on the 8-race card that we have today. But let's talk about your long shot play of the day. Starting off in race number 1 in the number 7 General News at 30-1 for Damon Deal DeVico and J-Ron Barbosa.
Yeah, horse we're giving a little love to, General News. Army Mules, 22% sprinting on the turf. Bottom side mare, a 7-time winner on the grass, and a sibling that's topped it in 83 in very good company out in California. We'll take the shot.
And you also go with another value play in race number 5, an Irish Warlock at a price of 8-1 for Daniel McKenzie and Horacio Caramanos.
Yeah, smaller barn, but they're making a little bit of noise here in Maryland. They're doing a good job. Second off the claim stat, we saw that. It's good, strong ROI. If you can avoid a little trouble. He's made some early moves to fizzle a little bit after trouble. He gets clear through the first quarter. I think his charge is going to get it done against this group.
And there we have it. We are going to leave you off for Sunday. We will be back Thursday, but before we go, we're going to touch in with Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches here for Sunday's card.
All right, good luck, everybody.